Right.
Yeah.
So then you are just speaking to this one?
Yeah, that's right.
How do I know it's on?
Well, you do this. Hello.
Right, let me try. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I go, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much good.
Right. Okay. Very good. Hello there. Welcome to the James Arnold Taylor podcast. I am Reginald Blythewood III, sitting in for the aforementioned James Arnold Taylor on the James Arnold Taylor podcast. So that's all recording. You got that?
Yeah, it's good. It's what you do. You hit the buttons.
Right. So you, Hank, hit the record button and it's recording.
No, I don't. I mean, that's Billy. Billy does it.
Oh, yeah? Oh, no, yes, Mr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie.
Stop it.
I hit the record and everything, and it's all going, but I am a little confused, though, because I know that Mr. James is coming in, and so he's going to be doing the show.
But, Hank, you told me that James won't be here for the show, and I was going to be doing the entire podcast myself.
Hey, man, I don't make the rules.
What is, hey, guys, what's going on here? Right. I'm going to be in the other room. I'll let them explain this to you. Okay. What's going on?
Well, Mr. Hank told Mr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie, that he could do the show instead of you.
Hey, man, don't throw me under the suitcase.
Bus. I mean, I don't even understand. Throw me under the suitcase. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, don't do it, man, because it wasn't me.
I think it probably was you. So you were going to have Reginald, don't call me Reggie, host the James Arnold Taylor podcast because you told him I wasn't here.
I just, I like messing with you.
Well, very clearly. All right. Well, hey, Reginald, don't call me Reggie. Right. I'm quite embarrassed. Oh, don't be embarrassed. That's Hank being Hank. See, that's what he does. Right. So I'm glad to see that you're here and doing the episode because you've been doing episodes now since you took your hiatus. Right. No, we took a little time off over the summer, but we've been back and we've had episodes coming out every weekend. Or every week, I should say, every Monday. It's very exciting. I made an announcement on it a while back when it came out, and now here we are. But look, hey, if you were going to host, look, I'm all for this. Share the space. It's the James Arnold Taylor podcast, talking to myself, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't come on. So, Reginald, don't call me Reggie. I can't not say it. Stop it. I can't not say don't call me Reggie. Stop it. I know, but there you go. If you were going to host, what was the plan? What were you going to do? Right. I was going to take an in-depth look at the various times and spaces and places in the James Arnold Taylor podcast throughout the last several years where you have dived deep into the internal workings of the James Arnold Taylor podcast. Wow. I don't even know what that means. It sounds really smart. And then with your accent, it sounds even smarter. So, okay. That's great. But you're here, so you want to hang out? You want to ask some questions or anything? Right. That sounds like a good idea. James Arnold Taylor, thank you for... Well, wait. Yes, sorry. No, it's just... I want you to do that, but we have to introduce the show first, you see.
Oh, yes, Mr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie.
Stop it.
No, Mr. Announcer Guy has to come in, and then he has to do the whole introduction to the show, and then Mr. James has to say, would you guys just get on with it, because you always go in and you talk too much before we do the show.
Well, he's right about that. And Hank, go ahead, just hit the button, just do, you know what?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're going to hit that sound, but with the boom, 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 that thing.
What, you mean this?
Yes.
I love it. I can't help it.
All right, okay. Stop it. I'm sorry, Reginald, don't call me Reggie. You can say it. Right, stop it. Thank you. That's much better. So we need to get in Mr. Announcer Guy. We need to introduce the show. And then you can ask me whatever you want to ask me about the James Arnold Taylor podcast or anything else. Reginald, don't call me Reggie. Right. So then, excuse me, Mr. Announcer Guy, are you around?
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, that worked. I didn't think that would work. Going, excuse me, Mr. Announcer, so Reginald, this is usually, don't call me Reggie, stomp it. This is what I usually would go, hey, Mr. Announcer guy, like that, and I call him, and then he comes in. But you very politely, in your polite British accent, asked him, and there he is. And sorry, by the way, Mr. Announcer guy, sorry for I just screamed in your ear just then.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. That's why I wear the headphones.
You do. You're always, you all don't get to see everybody in here in the James Arnold Taylor podcast. Welcome. Although, we've talked about making a video version of it. There's some talk anyways. But Mr. Announcer guy here, he's got his headphones on and he brings his own microphone too. It's quite impressive. He is a true Mr. Announcer guy. You announce everything everywhere you go?
Yeah, dude, it's what I do.
So like if you're at the grocery store and they have like a cleanup on aisle 4 or whatever, would you be like, hey, clean up on aisle 4? Like, how would that sound if it was Mr. Announcer guy and somebody spilled something in aisle 4, like a box of cereal spilled, and then Mr. Announcer, you get what I'm saying. What would you do?
Yeah, dude, it'd be like this. Attention, clean up on aisle 4. Clean up on aisle 4. Thank you.
Oh, see, that would be, the thing about that too is you could actually understand what you said. Because normally when you go to a grocery store or you're at the airport, I'm at the airport a lot, and they do those announcements and you can't understand anything they're saying. Or they have the layered ones at the airport. So it's always like I'm at my gate and the person is finally about to make the announcements about everything, and they're going, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to understand what they're saying. And then another one comes on from across the airport. And you're just like, I can't. So when you did it, it was very clean and clear.
Yeah, dude, it's what I do.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, sorry, guys. Yes, let's introduce the show. Sorry, everybody that's tuning in. I always wonder about the people that are first listening to this podcast for the very first time, what the heck they're thinking. They're like, well, this James Arnold Taylor guy, he does like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank and Titus from Final Fantasy and Johnny Test stuff, whatever he's voice. And then he's got this Talking to Myself podcast. I think I'll take a listen to it. I saw him post on Instagram. He's kind of a weird dude. Maybe I'll listen to his podcast. And this is like the first time they ever listen to the podcast. And this is what they hear. They hear this mess of an introduction. This is not fancy or well done at all, is it?
Well, no, I think that, it's very common for there to be a little preamble before the show.
Oh, preamble. That was a good word, Billy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. James, sir.
Just James.
Sir James a lot.
Okay. Well, no, that's not common on any other show. Usually they just go, hey, welcome to the show, and then they get on with it. But so that's what we do here at the James Arnold Taylor podcast. So, Mr. Announcer guy, would you please do the honors? I was going to call you Mr. Reginald. Don't call me Reggie. Stop it. Well, actually, I like Mr. Although I do have a doctorate. You do? You're a doctor? Yes. Okay. Wow. We learn new things all the time. So, Dr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie. Stop it, just Dr. Reginald. Dr. Reginald. Why did we never know this? Well, I would think because you just made it up. That's right. I did. Okay, anyways. Would you ask Mr. Announcer Guy to get the thing started? You know what I'm getting at. Right. Mr. Announcer Guy, would you please introduce the show?
Yeah, dude. Why don't you ask Jerry the Music Man to cue the music all nice and please in your fancy accent?
Right. Jerry the Music Man, would you please cue the music for the James Arnold Taylor podcast?
You got it, Dr. Reginald. Pip, pip, cheerio.
Wow, he's getting into it, too. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's the James Arnold Taylor podcast. Talking to myself, the JATcast man. On today's show, Jat's going to respond to some of your comments in social media.
I am?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Here he is, the same guy that's doing all the voices you're hearing, including this one, James Arnold Taylor!
Okay. See, this is how I learn what we're going to do in the show when he does the introduction and says what's going to happen. I had no idea. So, okay. Well, very cool. Right. Oh, yes, you're still here. Reginald. Dr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie. Now I got to change to that. Okay, my goodness. You're a doctor.
I could be a doctor, too.
No, you're not going to be a doctor, Hank.
I'm a doctor of engineering.
You're a doctor of something, I'll tell you that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Announcer Guy.
You got it, man. I'm going to go now.
And there he goes. Reginald, don't leave. Don't call me Reggie. Doctor. Okay. You stay here. Right. Stop it. Okay. Billy, would you get Dr. Reginald and myself, wait for it, 2 cups of tea?
Ooh! So you actually don't want me to get you coffee, but you actually do want me to get you something to drink, and that would be a cup of tea.
Yes, pip pip cheerio.
Stop it. Just because I'm British doesn't mean everyone says pip pip cheerio.
Well, Jerry the Music Man said it. You didn't mind when he did it.
No, I like Jerry the Music Man.
What? Wait, you don't like me?
No, you're fine. Yes, I will take cream and sugar in mine, please, Billy.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I'll skip the sugar. Don't give me any sugar, Billy. And just give me that voice tea that I get.
Ooh, I get a voice tea
Out here, I don't know if I've talked, I think I may have talked about it. There is a tea that I get. It's called voice tea. I bet you can buy it online. Let me see if we can figure this out. Hang on, voice, is that it? That's it. Go to voicetea.com. Voice, just like voice actor, and then TEA.com. This gal, and you can follow her on social media. Follow her on social media. I follow her on Instagram. She makes wonderful tea. It is a voice tea. She's I think she's probably a singer as well. Let's see. Voice tea, Diane Sheets. That's her name. She is with more than 20 years of music business experience. Nashville-based celebrity vocal coach Diane Sheets is the magic behind some of the best voices in music today. So go to Voice Tea, but she makes this tea that I drink that I love. So I'm sorry, Billy. Yes, pip pip cheerio for Dr. Reginald. Stop it. And I'll take a little voice tea.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. James. Can I have some of that tea as well? It might be good for my throat.
Yeah, and yes, you make yourself some as well.
What about me? Do I get some tea?
Yeah, give him a thing of onion tea.
Ooh, you make me an onion sandwich too, Billy.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Hanks, sir. Dr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie, sir. And Mr. James, sir. James a lot.
Okay. There he goes. So yeah, that's become like, I guess that looks like an ad for Voice Tea. She doesn't even know I exist, I don't think, but I just gave her a nice little ad there on my show. Go to voicetea.com. Because a lot of people ask me, we're going to drink some water here in a second, but if I drink anything, I drink tea. Usually I might have like throat coat sometimes, but I prefer this voice tea to that. It's really lovely. It is green rooibos, and it is lemon peel, and it is ginger. I think that's it. And then and it's really good. It's a very good tea, but let's have some water. Reginald, do you have your water?
Right. I do, as a matter of fact, yes.
All right, Hank, cue the thing. Now can you cue the real thing?
It's time to drink some water. That's good water.
That is good. That's good water, isn't it, Reginald? Dr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie.
Right. Yes, indeed, it is good water.
All right. So yeah, check out Voice Tea. That's good. That again, I get nothing for saying that, but people ask me, "What do you drink?" There you go. I like talking about all sorts of the products, and I get the elemental bars. I love those. The E-bars. I talk about those. I talk about eating Evolve chocolate. I have not talked about Evolve chocolate in a while. I love their chocolates. It's because if you're going to eat stuff like chocolate and stuff, chocolate can be very beneficial for the brain, for the body, for the heart, the soul, the mind. Evolved chocolates, I believe they're pretty much everywhere. You can go to Whole Foods anywhere or Sprouts or health food places and get Evolved chocolates. Theirs are amazing. I love theirs. I love the HU chocolates as well. Those are really good. If you're going to have chocolate, because the ingredients are simple. You look at Evolved chocolate, for example. There's like 4 ingredients. They're beautiful stuff. So, again, I don't have any sponsors on this show, and I'm sitting here talking like I'm doing commercials for people, but let's just talk about the things I like. I like SE Electronics. Go to seelectronics.com. Get SE Electronics microphones. They make wonderful microphones. Why do I do all of this? Because these people are my friends. I really love them. I love all the businesses that make products that I like. Core Eats, there's still, I believe if you go to Core Eats and they make amazing paleo and keto friendly gluten-free breads, and we eat those, that's like almost a daily occurrence in our house here at the Taylor household. Corey, who makes Core Eats, so fantastic. Go to Core Eats. Follow him. Follow Core Eats Mixes on Instagram at Core Eats Mixes, which is COREEATS JATs Mixes, Mixes. She makes wonderful paleo, keto, vegan-friendly, healthy, simple, delicious stuff. And it is fantastic. And if you put in the code, I think there's like a coupon code, JAT, at checkout, for your first checkout, you get like 20% off, which is pretty cool. Look at that. And again, none of these folks are sponsors of mine. These are just things I like. This is stuff that I enjoy. What do I like? I just share with you, because if you were sitting down and hanging out with James and you came over to my house, for example, I'd offer you some Core Eats mixes, or I'd offer you an E-bar or an elemental bar as a snack, or I'd make you some voice tea, or I'd give you some of that salty water drink. There's different ones of those salty drinks, by the way. Now, I've seen some other ones, too, that people like, and there's some that maybe even more that use, like, sea salt and stuff. But there's all this stuff. Ooh, the seeds that I love, the Top Seeds snacks. So it's TOPSEEDZ, and then, well, snacks, SNACKS. Top Seeds snacks. Man, I found those recently at a Whole Foods. Top Seeds. I love them. They are so good. Ooh, they're tasty. They make these maple ones too, but they're roasted seeds. Oh, a little salt. Yeah, man. I eat those daily. I love that. So, again, sorry, I know it sounds like I'm doing like a big commercial. I'm not. None of these people know I'm giving them any attention or anything. But if you were to follow them, or you were to do any other stuff, say, hey, James Arnold Taylor said I liked it. That's, if nothing else, that's cool, right? Anyways, I love supporting people, because that's what, that's the other thing that's great about our country, that's great about our nation. What we do is, we lift each other up. Small businesses are the backbone of this country. And I want to see all these small businesses do really well. And so when I find stuff, because my diet is so restricted, it's so limited, that there's only certain things I can eat, and it's only certain things that I support. I mean, same with hair and body products and things, because I do things that are non-scented and stuff too. So, because I got my hair cut today. Welcome, by the way, to the show. You're just sitting there looking at me, Dr. Reginald.
Right. I thought I was supposed to ask you these questions.
Okay. So, well then, okay, fine. Sorry. Yes, I got my hair cut today.
Right. Tell us about your haircut experience today, James.
Thank you, Dr. Reginald. Don't call me Reggie.
Stop it.
All right. I went and got my hair cut, and Noah is the young man that cuts my hair. Great young man. And I rotate between a few of the guys at the barbershop that I go. It's a barbershop. It's a barbershop. Check this out. Now, I don't drink, but it's a bar and a barbershop. That's kind of a manly new thing. Get your hair cut and get a drink. But so I go to this place that is a bar/barbershop. And, and so it's fun. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. I cut alcohol out, 20 years ago. But not because I had a problem with it. Although if I did, I would admit that I had a problem with it. But I cut it out when I got sick from black toxic mold, and I had to stop drinking. And so I was actually quite a wine collector and a bourbon collector. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it all. I wasn't a huge drinker, but I enjoyed the taste of all that. I'm not condoning or advocating for alcohol consumption. I'm just telling you, I don't drink, because it's not good for your voice. It's not really good for your body either. Right. So, but anyways, I go and get my hair cut at a place where it's a barbershop/bar. And there you go. So I went in, and there's a few dudes that cut my hair, and Noah is primarily the main fella that cuts my hair. Sometimes Nick does, sometimes Josiah does. And so shout out to all of them. If they're listening, they're not listening, but that's like the other week when you were talking. I know. It's assuming that people listen to my show. But the people that do listen to my show are the people that are listening right now. And what I want to say right now is thank you. Thank you for listening to my show. You're here on the James Arnold Taylor podcast. It's all fine. We're going to get to comments today, because that's what Mr. Announcer Guy said. And Reginald, I know you're asking me questions, but a very long way around. We're going to take questions and stuff. But so I'm at the barber. I'm having Noah cut my hair, and we're talking about products. He says, I don't put any product in your hair, right? I'm like, no, because of the smells. So when I got exposed to black mold, going on 20 years ago, well, it's been 19 years ago now, I became very sensitive to chemicals and smells and odors and scents and things. I have like the nose. I like dogs smell. Like I smell like the way a dog. I don't smell like a dog. That sounds funny. The way that dogs have the scent, mine's not. You know, of course, they have super scent. I'm pretty darn close, man. I smell all sorts of stuff. It's terrible. It's the worst superpower you could ever get. You know, Barry Allen gets hit by a bolt of lightning and he becomes the Flash. And I get struck by black toxic mold and I can smell everything. It's just lame. I didn't get super speed. I couldn't fly after that, but I can smell you a mile away. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so I have, you know, kind of sensitivities to these things. And so he was asking me about products. And so I was saying, yeah, all the products. Here's the thing about all of you folks, that if you wear products, this has got to be annoying. Most people don't realize how many smells, because what happens is eventually your senses just kind of get overwhelmed by it all, right? Plus, if you're eating more processed foods, toxic foods and stuff, look, I'm in no way trying to attack anybody. I want everybody to get healthy. And that is the main thing. And when I got sick from mold years ago, I learned very quickly I had to start eating right, taking care of myself very quickly, or else I was going to have health problems, you know? And so I really found a holistic approach to that, fixing my diet, fixing my exercise, fixing, water is my primary source of hydration in my life completely. The tea, which Billy, I don't know when Billy's coming back with that. But anyways, all of those things, they're very important. And so that's what I do. But anyways, when I got sick, I became very sensitive to smells. So most people don't realize your deodorant smells, your fabric softener. Oh my God. Fabric softeners are so harsh for me, for my body. So when we travel, I am inundated with smells that are like airplanes and hotels and the sheets and the blankets and the towels and the pillowcases at hotels. Oh, we bring our own pillowcases usually, and that's like a little help for me. But I am so overwhelmed and it's so hard. That's another reason why it's hard for me to travel as much as I do, but I travel all the time. And I've gotten more used to it. But it used to, when I was first sick with the mold and I'd be around scents and smells and stuff, like my head would start spinning. I would get so overwhelmed from the fabric softeners, especially colognes, perfumes, things like that. Whew, like walking through a mall is incredibly hard for me. And then there is the, and I know some people kind of poo-poo these things. That's a funny phrase, isn't it? Poo-poo. But anyways, they kind of don't believe in all of it, but of like the electromagnetic fields and stuff. But look, I don't know if any of those like little stickers and stuff work. I have one on my phone that I got that recently, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I will say this, there is definitely Wi-Fi and electromagnetic fields all over the place, and it does affect us. Y'all have to remember, sometimes, like if you're feeling a little like crazy some days where you're just like, my brain is just buzzing, it's because we're just filled with constant. You have to understand, when I was a kid, there was no cell phones. There was none of this stuff. There was radio waves. There was, microwaves, of course, but there was no cellular frequencies buzzing through all of us all the time. Like, I'm sure all those frequencies were still there. I'm sure that, they were using them for different things, but, the radio waves and such. But it's a different world now. And so our bodies can get overwhelmed with scents and chemicals and all that. So you want to just eat as well as you can, drink a lot of water. What is your weight? And then what is it? It's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm supposed to drink, so I'm about 118 pounds. I'm supposed to drink about, I think, 60 ounces of water a day. So what is that? That's like half my body weight or something, right? So it's something like that. So I try to drink as much water as I can in the day. You should drink as much room temperature water as you can. Cold water, fine, I get it. Some people like ice water. Look, I'll take you drinking ice water any day over drinking a soda pop, okay? And yeah, I like saying soda pop. It's funny. So anyways, this is where we're at. Sorry, Dr. Reginald. You asked me one question and I just go forever. I don't know if it's going to work having you ask me questions here today. Right. I can't even do it. All right. See, this is what happens. I do the show, and I kind of like, in the beginning, if you go back and you listen to the James Arnold Taylor podcast from the very beginning, and I was doing voices all over the place, right? And because, it's me. There's no big secret. This show's called Talking to Myself. All the voices, all the characters you're hearing are me, and I do it in real time, and I just switch back and forth, right? Sometimes in editing, I edit up things to tighten things up because I just don't like there to be any dead air. What, a dead space like we talked about the other? Yeah, that's right, Hank. So sometimes I do that, but for the most part, I just switch back and forth. So when Reginald comes on and says, right, that's just me. All I did is I moved my head up towards the microphone and did Reginald's voice just then. And then if Hank is going to talk, what, you mean like if I'm talking over here? That's right. I just back off of the mic for a little bit and I do Hank's voice and I just switch back and forth, and that's how I do this. Welcome to the James Arnold Taylor podcast, right? So sometimes, in the beginning of the show, when I would interview like Obi-Wan or Johnny Test or Leonardo or whomever, right, that I interview any of my characters, Ratchet, I was always kind of like, I'll do the voices and stuff. But now that the show is established, we've been doing this show for 5 years or so, I kind of like go, look, I'm going to do all the voices at the beginning of the show, and then the rest of the show, I'm just going to talk to you because I got stuff to say and you like listening. I think, at least I see from like the comments and that's what we're going to go through. We're going to go through some of the YouTube comments that you folks just like hearing me talk about stuff, which is amazing to me. Thank you. God bless you. You are so sweet, all of you, that you would want to hear me talk about my life and talk about stuff. It's fun though, right? It's fun. It's fun to have an escape. I watch TV shows, I watch different people, I watch, stuff. There's podcasts that I listen to that I really like, and I love hearing the people talk. So I get it. It's hard for me to believe that you all would want to tune in just to hear me go on and on about stupid stuff, but that's what I do. So I'll do it. But yeah, I mean, we haven't talked to characters. I should talk to characters before. We haven't talked to we haven't called Ferris at the billiard zone in a while. We did that earlier in the year. We talked to Guinevere and Franklin, my agent, and his son Brian. There's all sorts of characters. I guess I have to, when I'm doing the shows regularly, then I kind of go, oh, I should make sure I do a call to Franklin on this one, and I'll just start with that. But right now, I've got 3 episodes in the can that you've all already heard now, but at this point when I'm recording this one, today is November 13th, 2024, and I just released the first of the 3 that are already done, and that one was recorded like a month and a half ago. So I'm recording them whenever I can. So right now I'm kind of like, oh, I have 2 hours. I'm going to jump in the studio. I'm going to record an episode, and then I'm going to edit it, and then I'm going to get that done and put it away for a few weeks from now and then schedule it. So what I do is I use Libsyn as my podcast provider. Thanks to all the folks at Libsyn. And I finish them, and then I schedule them, and I put them in the schedule. I listen to them first because, sometimes I go back, like the episode that just ran, there was a part of me that was like, I don't know, should I put out the one, or it was two episodes ago where I talked about losing the job of Fred Flintstone and stuff. And I said something, and I joking around about how nobody listens to the podcast from like Disney or Netflix or any of these. And I told some stories. There was a part of me that's like, I played that for my wife before I released it. And I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, well, whatever. Look, the truth is that shows the human side of you, right? That shows the side of you that fans like all of you folks listen to this show because you just go like, I don't know, James just talks at us for, I talk to you, I know, but I feel like I'm talking at you sometimes. For like 45 minutes to an hour, he goes on there and he just kind of goes on and he does some funny voices. He tells some stories and it's just kind of fun to hear him go on. Hopefully, that's God willing what you're all saying, I hope. He also talks a lot about his religion. I do. And it's not religion to me. It's my life. It's just my way of life. It's my hobby, I guess. I don't really have any hobbies outside of going to Comic-Cons and meeting all of you wonderful people. So what do I do outside of that? Well, I spend a lot of time in prayer. I spend a lot of time reading my Bible and reading other things like theological books. And I spend a lot of time talking about those things with my friends and my family, particularly my poor wife, Allison, who has to hear me. And I can't wait for y'all to hear her. We're going to talk to her soon in an upcoming episode or two. But, this is what I do. So outside of, like, if you were to have dinner with me, what would I be talking about? I'd be talking about how much I love Jesus and how grateful I am that he saved my life and that I wish everybody would know the Lord like that. So that's what you get. So I'm sorry. Again, sorry everybody that is like, I just want to hear you talk about cartoons. I get it. It's the only reason I am an actor is because of the grace of God. The only reason why I have breath in my lungs is the grace of God. The only reason why I have a podcast is the grace of God. The only reason why, I can go on and on and on and on, because for me, that's the basis of my entire life is Jesus giving me my life through his grace. So there you go. So that's kind of my hobby, is painting scripture. If you've seen my movie Hidden Blessings, the paintings in that movie were my real paintings. That's what I do. I paint. And I study the Bible, and I try to live a happy life, blessed, and try to take in the goodness, because ultimately what I get from it is life is a vapor. Enjoy it and be as joyful as you can. We can't be happy all the time. We've talked about that a lot on the show, but we can be joyful, and we can be grateful that we have lungs that breathe in air, and that we have the ability to eat, drink, and be merry and live life. And many of us, and many of you listening even, may be dealing with like health issues and such. So all we have at the end of the day is to look at life and our friends and our family and, the trees and the grass and the sky and the sea and all of the animals. Animals are amazing. My wife and I spend too much time, if we're on social media at all, on Instagram. My Instagram is full of, everything from capybaras to donkeys to piglets to dogs and cats, and just watching them. It's just because I take so much joy in the beauty of what God created. This is an amazing world. So that's my, thing where I want to enjoy life. Now, if you were sitting down for dinner with me, we could go deeper in it. But in the podcast, you're going to hear me talk about my gratitude. So really what the podcast is about is my thanksgiving and my gratitude. And I'm grateful for all of you. So in turn, I'm also very grateful to God for giving me the ability to have this podcast, and the fact that several thousands of people sit down and listen to this on a regular basis and are excited when they see it in their inbox. That blows me away. Blows my mind. Anyways, hey, let's take a look at, I'm on my iPad here. I'm closing things out. I'm trying to open other stuff. I'm going to pause that. Okay, so I'm at YouTube. We're going to look at the comments. So this one came out on, what was it, like today's the 13th, 12th, like the 11th. This one came out November 11th. So let's take some of these. Shall we bring in Bob? Hey, Bob. Ooh, oh yes, and dibbity-dee and dibbity-doo, James. Yes, hello there. Hello there, Bob. So you have gathered some of the comments from YouTube? Oh yes, so people have gone on. So for those of you that don't know, there is no longer an email open for James Arnold Taylor, but you can go to the comments section in any of the James Arnold Taylor podcasts, and especially the latest one, and we'll take questions and respond to things there. That's right, Bob. Thank you so much. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate you getting that ready for me. I'm going to read some of these, and I'm going to let you go back to it over there. Maybe you can figure out where Billy is with that tea, because he was supposed to get us tea. Oh, yeah. Oh, and dibbity-doo and doobity-dee. Back in the Flash. Okay, I doubt that, but thank you. I'm the Flash. Actually, I voiced the Flash. It's true. So Piper Berry says, hey, James, I just finished listening to this, and first time listening to one of your episodes. It was really good. I spotted you at MegaCon, and I was meeting Ashley, and I didn't get to say hi because I could only meet 2 people, and I'd like to meet you next year, hopefully at MegaCon. Well, I don't think I'll be at MegaCon next year, but I have to be invited, and so they don't usually invite me multiple years in a row. It says, I love the Clone Wars as a teenager after watching Rebels, and I love that you did Obi-Wan and Plo Koon. Star Wars is my happy place, and a place for my imagination and career to flourish. I'm in college now, and I hope to work with you and Dave Filoni at Lucasfilm sometime in the future. Well, that'd be nice. I don't really work much at Lucasfilm anymore, but every once in a while when I need Obi-Wan. Again, big fan, and I hope to watch some of your other stuff coming out. The comic shop sounding interesting, along with Gabriel and the Guardians. I want to be an actress and filmmaker and writer. Anyways, big fan, and I say hi. That's Piper Berry. Piper Berry, hello there. Hello there from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Thank you for your comment. That is wonderful. See, isn't this cool? So I'm just going to read the comments. I'm just going to go through the comments of the last episode of the JATcast here, and we'll just see. Let's see. This is Gokhan Eternal. says, "Yay, the JATcast is back. Lots of laughs. I've missed this. I got Hidden Blessings on DVD and it is so good." Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. I've been telling so many people about it. Well, thank you for that as well. Gokhan Eternal. I hope I'm saying that right. Can't wait to hear and see more. It's always a blessing. God is good and has blessed us all so well. So very true. Gokhan Eternal. I appreciate that very much. David Ruiz, David's been, he's been a fan of mine for, oh my goodness, so many years. He says, it doesn't matter what your voice is, it's still ratchet to me no matter what. Well, that's very cool of you, David. I appreciate that. And thank you for telling me to keep my faith to achieve my dreams and becoming an animator someday and alongside you. It's just that it's been so hard for me, but I need to keep going and never give up. Even with school behind me, I still got to improve more than ever. Thank you, Jat, for inspiring me then and before. May the force be with you always. David Ruiz. David has been a fan of mine, like I say, for a very long time. David, thank you for saying that. And I'm sorry, it's hard. You know, I think it's hard for a lot of folks. I want to let y'all know, though, you know, it's like things are hard, but I've said this many times on the show. Remember that when things are tough, that means we're growing. And it means it's an opportunity for growth and it's an opportunity to learn and to do things. And we have to know that whatever it is that we're doing, it has to be something that we're really gifted at. So I'm really hoping and praying that all of you that are fighting to do what you want to do in life, it's something that you know you're really gifted at and you're really good at. So find what you really are good at. And here's a great way to figure that out too. Talk to your friends and family about it. What do you see that I do that is really impactful? What do you see that I do really well? Where do you see it that I flourish? You know, when do you see that I get really happy because I'm doing something? Now, sometimes joy in what we do and talent in what we do are separate things. You know, like someone like myself could love to sing, right? I do. I love singing in the car to stuff. And I sing every once in a while for things. I get paid to sing sometimes, but I'm not a singer. Okay. So it would be wrong for me to say like, I'm going to stop voice acting and become a singer. I have no business doing that. They would have to pitch correct, auto-tune every other thing because I have terrible pitch. I can sing as different people and I can do things, but my pitch is terrible, right? So I'm not kidding myself. I know I'll never be a singer. It is sometimes something I do in my living, but it's not my living, right? So for whatever it is, so like I know David, you want to be an artist, so just keep going with the art and keep doing it, but also find those things that you know that you're really good at and flourishing in. I don't know. I could be reading things and you said it's just that it's been hard for me and I need to keep going and never give up. That's right. You need to keep going and never give up. So whatever it is, so like if you're an artist, David, and you're trying to get your art out there or whatever, just keep going, man. Look, you got to be persistent with things, but you also have to know, I got to look at other things that I'm really good at too, and maybe, do some of those things too. So each one of us needs to know, what is it? I always say here on the show, know what you believe and why you believe it. Know more than you want to know. Those tie in with know what you're really good at and actually try to, strive in what you're actually good at, what you're really meant to do. And if you don't know what that is, ask around, talk to family, talk to trusted friends. And look, if you're a person of faith like myself, give it to God and ask him, Lord, what am I good at? What should I be doing? Where should I be putting my energy? What should I be doing? I love singing, or I love art, or I love this, or I love that, but I don't know if it's really what I should be doing as my living. Is that it? There are so many people that are amazing at music. I mean, like amazing at music, for example. I'm just using music because it's just kind of the first thing that comes to my mind. That go, I'm really good at it. I got great tone. I'm a really talented musician. I took, band in school for years and stuff, but I'm never going to be a musician. I'm never going to have, number one hits. I'm never going to be all of that. I mean, the music industry is it's harder than the acting industry to get into. The music industry is, near impossible. So there's so many people that then go, but I sing in my church, or I help out at the community center and I do plays, or I do that, and so they have that avenue to do the things that they love, that they know that they're good at, but they're maybe not making their living good at. Does that all make sense to everybody? I hope it does. Basically, what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is find your passions, do your passions, work at them really hard. But if you keep getting so much resistance that sometimes some of these things have to be what we do for ourselves. you know? So like me with singing or painting, I do them for myself more than anything. I don't expect I'm going to make a living at it. I still do them, but I won't throw all my eggs into my singing, painting baskets because that's not where I'm going to make my living. So anyways, okay, let's take a look at some others. Let's see. Darth Crust 66 says, always love seeing this podcast. Thank you. This is Tampa Movie Guy says, glad you're back. Definitely going to watch your new movie this weekend. Thank you, Tampa Movie Guy. Julian the Jedi says, and he's back. Today's a good day. Well, thank you. Tara Ciora, Ciora? C-I-C-O-R-A. I hope I pronounced that right. You're back. We missed you. Thank you. Xylopiano is like a xylophone and a piano, whatever. Xylopiano 3 says, so great to see the JATcast back. I will get around to watching Hidden Blessings whenever I can. In the meantime, I just want to say that I beat Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart recently, and I loved every second of it. Okay, that's awesome. Rift Apart is a great game. Let's see. Hero the Creature Maker says, I recently discovered an interview with you in it, and I was blown away by how many characters I grew up with that you played. Not only that, but I was super inspired by your faith. I'm a Christian too, and I was super intrigued that you are a believer in an industry that really doesn't support faith all that much. That's very true. I am a young guy, and I really want to get video game stories so I can make something everyone can enjoy and doesn't have worldly gobbledygook in it. I just want to say you really motivated me to continue working on my story and go out and try to achieve the goals God has put to my heart, regardless of how oppressive the entertainment industry can be. Hero Creature Maker, thank you so much for your comments. I want to talk about that a little bit. You know, I have been very blessed to be in the entertainment industry for over 30 years. And for the most part, that has been secular. You know, I've worked in the secular world, working on things, you know, everything from Star Wars, Ratchet and Clank and everything, not Christian projects. It's only been recently that I've been able to work in Christian projects, which is kind of funny. And I've talked about it before on the show that even when I've tried to get into them, it felt like God kind of closed that door. But now he's been opening more doors. I've been able to work on a lot of things. I talked about a lot of them in the last episodes. Another one I forgot to mention, by the way, is Barely Biblical. My dear friend Tim Ingle is making a wonderful one called Barely Biblical. It's a very, very fun cartoon animated series of Bible stories with teddy bears, animated teddy bears. And I think I've talked about it a little before, but it is so cool working on that. I've been working on so many things as a Christian lately. And then I made my movie, which is a faith-based movie, right? But here's what I get from a lot of my friends that are Christian filmmakers. They're so kind of adamant about, I want to make movies, I want to break into Hollywood, and I want to make movies that have faith elements, but I don't want to make Christian movies. And while that is fine, and again, I've had a career in the secular world, but I was trying to be a voice actor very specifically. If you are someone that goes, I want to make, like I had to make a choice when I made Hidden Blessings. I could make it a movie that was kind of a faith-based movie that kind of danced around faith a little, which is what I see with a lot of the faith-based movies. So if you're going, I want to make a difference for Christ in Hollywood, then I think you have an obligation to put his name into things. Let me give you an example. The movie Hidden Blessings that I made. The biggest comments I got, the only time I got kind of negative comments about the Christianity in my film, that all of that was from Christians, Christian filmmakers, even producers and stuff. And they're like, well, you got a lot of Jesus in this movie. And I'm like, isn't that kind of the point? I mean, first off, I tried to just make a movie that was about real people dealing with real things. And that's why I shot it as a documentary. And that the character that I played, Gregory Davidson, is someone like myself who, if you're sitting there hanging out with him, he's going to talk about his faith and he's going to talk about Jesus. But like the only people that got offended by it or that told me I needed to pull the Jesus stuff out were Christians. Like, hey man, you got to be careful. It's like, you know what's funny is all the people that are not of Christian faith that watched it went, I liked it. I appreciated that you were honest about your faith in it. So my words to Christian filmmakers are, don't be afraid to talk about Jesus. Don't be afraid to put in the scene where everybody's around the table and they bow their heads to pray and they say, in Jesus' name, amen. Because that is how Christians pray. I see a lot of quote unquote, yeah, thank you, yeah, quote unquote, thanks, Hank, movies that are Christian movies where they'll be praying and they say, "Thank you, God, for this food. Amen." That's not how Christians pray. I'm sorry, I've been a Christian for 30 plus years. When I'm out at a restaurant or I'm at home or I'm with any of my Christian friends, we take hands sometimes, we bow our heads and we say, "Lord, thank you for this food we're about to receive. Thank you for your bountiful blessings and all this goodness." We go on and on and on because that's what we do as Christians. We go on and on and on in our prayers. And then we say, "In Jesus' name, amen." That's real. So even movies like, I don't know, like even Jesus Revolution, which I thought was a good movie. I really, Kelsey Grammer, wonderful actor, all that, really neat. It's a true story. Greg Laurie, amazing pastor, all of that, right? Wonderful. But what I noticed is they softened some things. Even though the movie was called Jesus Revolution, very rarely in the movie did they talk about God as Jesus. They talked about God, not God the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And we as Christians, we talk about God the Father, God the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. So my note to Christian filmmakers, and then many of you are friends of mine, don't get taken up into the Hollywood thing of saying, "Well, I'm going to make faith-based movies, but, soft faith-based movies so I don't offend anybody, and they're kind of for everybody." You know what? I mean, look, I think, people that are of Muslim faith or Jewish faith or even atheists, people know what they believe, right? And why they believe it. And they're not shying away from it. Why should we as Christians? If you're making a movie and you're a Christian and you want to portray Christian faith, you need to talk about Jesus in the movie. That's just it. That's just my opinion. That's what I did with my movie. And again, I thought it was interesting. The only people that gave me flack about that were Christians. I don't know. I thought that was funny. So all of you that want to be Christian filmmakers, that specifically are going into Hollywood to work as a Christian, look, I have plenty of friends that are actors, that are Christians, that are believers, filmmakers, writers, that are in the secular world of Hollywood. Again, I spent 30 plus years in Hollywood as a secular actor. That's fine. You can separate your faith. But if you're going, I'm specifically talking to people that go, "No, I want to make faith-based movies, but I don't want to make Christian faith-based movies." And I think that's a bit of a sellout. That's kind of the wrong. I would call you out on that. I would just call you out on that. If you are saying, "I as a Christian want to get into Hollywood and I want to make a stamp on the Hollywood world for Christ," do it, man, because Hollywood is a tough place. Hollywood is a gross place. Hollywood is a narcissistic place. Hollywood is full of ego and self. And if you don't have your faith, you will get swallowed by it. So don't be afraid to talk about Jesus. That's why I say Jesus on this podcast a lot, because I want to normalize the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I want all of you that don't believe in Jesus to not get wigged out when I say the name Jesus. I want you to just go, "Oh, that's James's God. That's who he believes is God." Because it is. It's who I know is God, okay? So, and if you're not of Christian faith, at least you go, "Okay, I get it. That's him. That's wacky Jesus-y James." He talks about Jesus a lot. Normalize it. So if you're a Christian filmmaker and you want to make faith-based movies, do that. But don't stray from talking about Jesus in them. That's what I would say. And now a lot of these are being made by huge secular companies that go, "Well, we have a faith-based market because there's lots of money and we want their money." And so they have them make these movies and then they make them take Jesus out of it a lot and then just make it more generic God. Well, I would say to Christian filmmakers that are in that position, fight against that and say, "Sorry, but you asked me to make a faith-based movie. I'm being reasonable and I'm being responsible to my core audience that is Christian, because they're the ones that are ending up at the end of the day buying the tickets." So that's my opinion, and that may be, controversial, but that's me on my little Jesus soapbox again. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Love your Savior. Know that he is your God, and he is why you have breath and air in your lungs. And it's the only reason I'm alive. I am not supposed to be here, man. I'm a mistake. I'm a product of an affair. I came from a broken home, a very broken household with a lot of bad stuff going on. Saw a lot of abuse. I am only here because of the grace of Jesus Christ. That's all. And the fact that He gave me an amazing, amazing wife and an amazing, amazing daughter and an amazing, amazing life. And I get to talk to all of you amazing, beautiful, wonderful people that believe all sorts of things. But me, I believe in Jesus. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it freely. And if you have questions about it, you can ask me. Because I know what I believe and I know why I believe it. And I know more than I want to know. I know that there's other people that believe differently. And as much as I want every single one of you to believe the way I believe. Why? Because I believe it's the truth. You know, why wouldn't I? I know that that's not realistic, but I'm going to keep trying. Just like all of you, right? So there you go. So for Christian filmmakers, hold the line, man. Keep going, but don't be afraid. All right. Let's see. Who else we got? Toria Burrell. I always hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Toria. I think you said I said it right before, but so yeah, you are. So great to hear your voice in your little padded booth again. Welcome back, Jat. We missed you, and you have such a lovely message here. I wanted to let you know how much I've enjoyed your movie, Hidden Blessings. I bought the DVD. Thank you so much for supporting it as soon as it became available, and I've now watched both discs. I'm also a big fan of the old school physical DVDs, and especially love seeing the behind the scenes stuff. Oh, God bless you. Thank you, my dear. Where to start? The movie was so incredibly moving, inspiring, and beautiful. Bravo to you and all the actors, artists, and musicians involved. Well, I greatly appreciate that. And she goes on to give me very wonderful things here, comments, very long comments here. And she says, I love watching all of it. Thank you, Jat, for sharing your talents, creativity, and art with us, and for your wonderful, inspiring message, bringing us a glimpse of God, God's work, God's truth, and God's love. Many blessings and much love to you. Thank you, my dear. God bless you, too. I really, really appreciate that. So Natalia says, I was wondering what Trolls movie are you in as I tried looking for it. The original Trolls movie I am in. I did a bunch of background voices in that. And I don't know if I'm credited in the WALA or ADR group, but I might be credited. I don't know. I probably am not. I don't know if I should be, but I probably am not. And that's the life of a voice actor. They don't do that. They don't credit you for everything. But so now Justin Timberlake, I am his voice double for the character of Branch in all the Trolls stuff. Okay? I do his doubling for games and toys and the TV shows, or, there's some shorts that I'm doing his voice for and such. But yeah, so that's it. Seal Meme 6 says, glad to see you back, Jat. Glad to hear you're doing well. The advice and inspiration you've given me has been very helpful to where I'm getting better in faith and health, especially from a car wreck last year. Oh, my goodness. Well, blessings to you. I pray blessings of healing on your body. And I thank you for that. And I knew just, diet, exercise, all of that stuff. It really makes a big difference in life, everybody. Okay, it really does. Let's see. We've got... Okay. Oh, look, there's Bonsai Tree for you again. It's such a special treat to see you back. And a little heart and a thumbs up and a smiley face emoji. Thank you so much. Mandy Horning. Boy, this is all these folks that I recognize your names, everybody. Thank you. I absolutely love your movie, James. The performances were great, especially yours. Beautifully shot. The editing was perfect. The music was lovely. And it fit the tone of the film so well. I fully intend to purchase the DVD and watch it again. I cannot wait to see your next film. Thank you so much for that, Mandy. Let's see, Jack Collins, I love this podcast. I needed this during the day, and I know it's going to be awesome as per usual. Thanks. That's Jack Collins, 1416. Padawan AR. Hey, Padawan AR, I know who you are. You're my good friend. Hello there. Happy to hear you. Always nice to have a new JATcast. Absolutely love Hidden Blessings. Snatched up the DVD, my old school bad self. LOL. Looking forward to hearing the Hidden Blessings podcast. Yes. So much cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Looking forward to seeing that stuff too. Blessings on your day, sir. Thank you so much, Padawan AR. We did record an entire Hidden Blessings podcast, and I shot it with 5 cameras and 7 microphones, and it's a lot. I have it all sitting on a hard drive, and I need to edit it all. So I know all the cast is probably going like, James, when are you going to put that out? I will put it out soon. I promise I'll put it out soon. And that'll be great because it's a lot of work. I haven't had the ability to edit it all yet, but it is coming soon. I want to get through all of these. This is just a great way to kind of spend some of the episode here, just going through all of these things. Zelda Rose 579 says, seeing the notification for this made my Monday. Hank's shenanigans made me snort laugh, and I love hearing about all your projects. Sounds like you had a great hiatus. Welcome back. You made her snort laugh there, Hank. Yeah, okay, I don't think that was a snort laugh, but okay.
Well, you know what I'm saying. That's great. Yeah. All right.
Okay, Hank. Cal N squared? Cal N squared? Is that your name? Okay. Great to hear from you again. Well, thank you so much. Grogu the Mandalorian says, I love Hidden Blessings, James. I've streamed it 3 times already. Oh, my goodness. First by myself, next 2 times with friends who were really blessed by it. Made us cry several times, really touched the soul, so well done. Thank you, Grogu the Mandalorian. That is so wonderful. You know what? Hey, man, all of you. So I'm reading all these so you know that, look, we used to do emails. We're going to try to get back to emails. I'm going to try to because we're going to try to make this episodes where I can do live streams with y'all and take your questions. But if nothing else, every few episodes here on the James Arnold Taylor podcast, I want to read the comments from the previous ones on YouTube, because that's where you all can comment and that's where I'm able to see your comments. Okay. So if you're listening to this show on some other platform, you can go to YouTube afterwards and just go and put a comment in. If you're like, I really want James to know this, that, or the other, go to the YouTube comments and look at them. Okay. We look at them, we check them out. I get to see them. If you see them hearted, that is actually me. My actual finger hits the heart button. It's James doing that. It's not like I hire people to do this stuff for me. Okay. So, let's just keep going. I want to try to get through some of these before we finish the whole show here. It says, Clark Kicks says, hello there, James. I always love saving your podcast for when I'm traveling on the train. I usually end up grinning ear to ear whilst listening to your various characters. No doubt I look a little mad to other travelers. I'm so excited to have you back as I've missed you over the summer, but I'm glad that you took a break. Well, thank you. My question for your next fan question segment has a bit of backstory. Okay, well, so here we go. This is Claire Kicks. Oh, Claire, yes. Okay, yes. Claire, you live on the other side of the pond. You live in the UK, I believe. So it says, so first I listened to your podcast in lockdown 2020, and in one of your earlier episodes, you encouraged us to listen to ELO's Out of the Blue album. Yeah, ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. They are a band, and a British band at that. After doing just that, I then went on to listen to their whole discography, and they've been my favorite band ever since. Man, that's awesome. I'm going to their final show in London next year and cannot wait. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm always reminded of you when I listen to ELO, so I was just wondering if you have a favorite ELO song. Sending love from over the pond. Yes, the UK. Claire, thank you so much for that. That is so awesome. I remember that. I remember that episode. I think I even sang a little Mr. Blue Sky. Mr. Blue Sky holds a special place in my heart. When I was a kid and I was going through a rough time, just in life, as I've mentioned on this show before, that I did not have the greatest childhood, and movies and TV shows and music were really kind of my babysitters and kind of, what helped me through things at times. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Songs and stories and things that really help you get through the tough times. And ELO's albums, Jeff Lynne is the lead singer, and basically he is ELO now. He really kind of is the whole band. And there's a wonderful documentary on him. I think it's called Mr. Blue Sky. You should check it out. It's just a great, I don't know if it's on, iTunes or any of the Netflix or anything. I don't think it's on Netflix or anything, but it might be on one of those streaming services. But check it out. Jeff Lynne, ELO, Mr. Blue Sky. That is a fantastic documentary because he does all the music now. But ELO has always been one of my favorite bands growing up as a kid. There's a song on Out of the Blue called Wild West Hero. And Claire, I'm sure you know it now if you know the album. It's an off track. It never became a hit. It wasn't like one that they played on the radio. And that song still, for me, I choke up when I hear it. I really do. Because when I was a little kid, I would listen to it and I would dream about someday being a hero and being able to be a good guy that would help other people. And the song is, Wish I Was a Wild West Hero. And, and it's talking about being an old cowboy saving the day and riding into town on his horse and saving the day and helping people. And as a little kid, I would listen to that and I would cry and I would think about, I want to help people. I want to do good for people. And, I wanted to help my family. I wanted to help my mom. I wanted to help my brother and sister. I wanted to help people in need. And I wanted to be that hero. And it's kind of weird, how God works. God is an amazing God because he gave me this ability to be all sorts of, superheroes and stuff where I've got to play heroes. So it's really kind of neat. I'm not a real hero by any
length of the term at all. I'm just a dude that does voices on a microphone. I'm an actor, but that song meant a lot to me. I love that song. He has another one, Jeff Lynne, on one of his latest. I don't know if it was, I think it was it was an ELO album. It was one of his the last album he put out, and it was called When I Was a Boy. And it's very kind of similar. It's this really just, and he's got these wonderful melancholy tunes and just the tones the chord progressions, I should say, that Jeff Lynne chooses are just so beautiful. And his harmonies that he harmonizes with himself are just so wonderful. So ELO is one of my all-time top favorite bands. All around. And Wild West Hero is one of my favorites. I love Turn to Stone. When I was a kid, I would say Turn to Stone, and there's that part, you used to turn to stone because you ain't coming home and it comes along and it can't go. And I would learn all of the words, and I'd read all the words, because back then you had the albums and you'd read the covers, and I would memorize all the words. And that part of that song in Turn to Stone, it's this really fast, cool thing. It was very neat. And so I'd want to sing it with them and stuff, because I always dreamed about being a singer and stuff, And so I love, and Telephone Line. Telephone Line was oh man, I loved that song. What I loved about Telephone Line, so now hopefully I'm forcing all the rest, Claire. Hopefully Claire and I are forcing all of you to go out and listen to more of ELO's music. Beautiful music, really great music. It's just, fun rock and roll too. And the production values of it is so great. He was really so inspired by the Beatles and what the Beatles did. And the Beatles music was so wonderful in production. George Martin, who produced their stuff, was just amazing. And I'm a production nerd. I'm a studio nerd. I love, all the cool things in the studio you can do with your voice and with effects and sound effects. And so Telephone Line was one of those songs where it starts with you hear the phone dialing and ringing, and then the lyrics to the song are Jeff Lynne, singing like he's calling an old friend or an old girlfriend or something. Hello, how are you? Have you been all right? And it's this kind of phone conversation, and they put his voice through this kind of effect thing, so it sounds like he's on the phone. Hello, how are you? Have you been all right? Through all those lonely nights, it's what I'd say. See, I told you I always wanted to be a singer, but I'm not. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's this beautiful kind of, he's got this wonderful crooning voice, kind of like Roy Orbison and such, and who he sang with the Traveling Wilburys and produced some of Roy Orbison's albums and stuff even. Can you tell I'm a music nerd? I could go on and on about this stuff. So Claire, thank you for asking. But yeah, Telephone Line, Wild West Hero, Turn to Stone, Strange Magic, Living Thing. It's a living thing. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Really good stuff. So anyways, thank you, Claire, for asking that. And I got to do that. Okay, let's see. So good to have you back. Oh, Ed, that's my friend Ed. He says, hello. Great to see a new episode. Dropping my feed. Well, Ed is a dear friend. He was just over here not that long ago. We had a great time. Ed and I have become dear friends after our amazing friend Gabriel Patilla went home to the Lord not too long ago, this last year. Sadly went home due to cancer. But Ed and I have since become friends. Ed and Gabe were longtime friends, and they have a podcast called Married to the Games. And check out Married to the Games. That's Ed's podcast. It's a very cool podcast, him and others that are on that. Check it out. It's very cool. If you're into video games and stuff, it's a great show. It's a great podcast. So Ed and I reached out after Gabe passed, and we got to become friends. And he just came over actually not too long ago and was visiting, and it was great to see him and just give him a big hug and show him love. This world is, look, life is short. Boy, please, I can't tell you how many friends I have. I have another friend of mine that I worked on in a movie that has stage 4 cancer right now, and she probably does not have a lot of time. Life is too short. I love reading these comments because I'm seeing that, I make a difference to all of you here. This one says, this is smart, savvy, passionate fan, and then I can't get your whole handle there, but it's smart, savvy, passionate. Says, hi there, James. So happy you're back again. Your voice touches my heart and scratches my brain in the best way possible. It's just music to my soul. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. NCHLDMN says, somehow James Arnold Taylor returned. Oh, I hope that's a good thing. And then this one says, yes, I'm always on the hunt for another JATcast. Such a pleasure to meet you at Rhode Island Comic-Con this year. Looking forward to this episode. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all some that person's handle is KILLERBLAIS. I'm not going to read all the names because sometimes if you read some of these words, the episode gets flagged because they're words that are, whatever. So I spelled your name there. There you go. And Dr. Vader, who says you need to stop filming your podcast. You need to start filming your podcast so we can see you talking, because I would like to see the person behind it instead of just hearing it. Well, we've talked about that, and that's all the comments so far that are there on the last episode of the James Arnold Taylor podcast. Thank you all. And thanks, Bob, for getting those ready. Oh, yeah, doobity-dee-doo. Where's Billy with the tea? Oh, I think he's coming. Well, it's been like an hour. So anyways, thank you all for listening to me go on, and some of the stuff I go on and on about, I know, I'm sorry, but I really appreciate y'all. I wanted to at least get through the comments and read through them all, and you can hear your names on there, and you can hear your comments read, and I can talk about some of them and answer some of your questions. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you hearing me go on and on about stuff. Look, I'm just blessed to be here. I hope you all really like this. Look, in this episode too, in the comments, if you're listening to it wherever, go to YouTube and make some comments. I want to ask y'all some questions here now. Like, if I did a live stream and you could talk to me, I'm sure you'd like that. So that'd be great. But the podcast, is there anything I'm missing in this podcast that you want more of? Go ahead and leave comments in the comments section, okay? And let me know that. Also, please, I've reminded you before, check out my IMDb on a regular basis. Click on my IMDb. Click on the projects that I'm working on IMDb. That helps my star meter on IMDb. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Please follow me on Instagram. Please follow me on X now, I guess it's what it's called, X. Yeah. I still have an X account. I'm not really on X much, but I'm on there. Sometimes I look at it, but I'm mainly on Instagram. That's really the best way to communicate with me. You can leave comments in my posts there, and you can leave comments on the YouTube stuff here. We're going to start putting videos out. I promise in the coming year, we're going to start putting more videos out on there. And I had a Rumble channel for a while. I don't know if y'all know Rumble. Rumble is another video service like YouTube. I was thinking about putting some of my stuff on there as well. Like I have about 15,000 subscribers on my Rumble channel. I did that, and look, neither YouTube nor Rumble have been a place where I can really monetize very well. And that's what I was kind of hoping for, because I have a lot of content, and I was kind of hopeful that maybe I'd be able to monetize them a little and make a little bit of money to pay for producing more content. Not so I can just make money, but so I could actually kind of justify the costs of making the content that I make, because it costs me time and effort and such. And if I can then go, oh, I made a couple $100, okay, great. I can justify putting all this content up on these channels. So anyways, if you follow me on any of those, please give me a follow on any of those places. And please feel free to make comments on any of the latest episodes that you see when you see them posted to YouTube here as well, okay? So thank you all so much for hanging out with me for a long episode, but I really appreciate it. God bless y'all. And, what's... Hey.
Oh, yes, Mr. James. No, here's your tea. And Mr. Reginald, don't call me Reggie's tea.
Well, he kind of left a long time ago, but both are cold, Billy.
Oh yeah, no, I got carried away talking to Mr. Announcer Guy, and Hank then asked for his, and I got all of his onion sandwich and his onion tea done right away for him.
Well, great, that's nice, but you didn't get my tea right away.
Well, no, I'm sorry, Sir James.
Just James.
Whatever.
It's okay. Thanks so much. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy, diddle my elbow.
Talking to Myself, the James Arnold Taylor podcast is a production of Yumigo Inc., recorded at JAT Studios. Engineered, written, recorded, and produced by, you guessed it, James Arnold Taylor. All voices are parody and should be construed as entertainment only. All music and sound effects used with permissions and licenses through Backtracks, Digital Juice, Production Tracks, and Partners in Rhyme. James Arnold Taylor's Talking to Myself, the podcast. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
Ooh, I was sneaking one last drink of water there while he did the legal mumbo jumbo. Thanks, Mr. Announcer Guy. Thank you all so much. God bless you. May the Lord bless and keep you. Know that there's a God out there. He's real. He loves you. All you got to do is answer that door when he knocks. He's there for you, okay? And thank you all for following me. Thank you all for listening to me. May the Lord bless you. Take care and goodbye.